In a region balancing on a knife's edge, diplomacy unfolds not in conference halls alone, but on airport tarmacs and fleeting encounters. On September 16th, 2025, United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio concluded a pivotal stop in Doha, Qatar, before boarding a flight bound for London. This journey came at a moment of acute tension, just 1 week after an unprecedented Israeli strike in Doha targeting Hamas representatives. Here, at Hamad International Airport, Rubio exchanges farewells with Qatari officials. These gestures, captured in seconds, mark the close of hours of behind-the-scenes diplomacy. For Washington, Qatar remains not merely a Gulf partner, but a linchpin mediator between Israel and Hamas. Alongside him, his wife Jeanette Douce-Dabbes Rubio joins in formal greetings. Standing with them, Stephanie Altman-Winan, America's chargée d'affaires in Doha. These symbolic courtesies underscore the personal nature of diplomacy, a blend of protocol, partnership, and persistence. Diplomatic rituals often find their climax in photographs, but behind this snapshot lies a weightier mission, sustaining Qatar's willingness to mediate as violence and mistrust surge across the Middle East. Rubio's departure signals the continuation of a high-stakes tour. Each takeoff and landing becomes an inflection point in a narrative shaped as much by quiet conversations as by public statements. London is the next stage, but Doha has left its imprint. Earlier in the day, Rubio sat face-to-face with Qatar's Emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Their meeting underscored Washington's reliance on Doha to channel communication with Hamas, a role Qatar has embraced despite the risks. For the Emir, mediation is not only a diplomatic posture, but also a delicate balancing act between regional pressures and global expectations. Upon arrival, the secretary was welcomed by Qatar's Director of Protocol, Ibrahim Yusuf Abdallah Fakhro. Every detail of these encounters, from handshakes to seating charts, is orchestrated to signal respect, recognition, and the weight of bilateral ties. This visit unfolded against the backdrop of escalating hostilities. The Israeli strike on Hamas figures in Doha a week earlier rattled the region, breaking long-standing norms and raising questions about Qatar's vulnerability as mediator. For Rubio, the task was clear: to reaffirm US support for Qatar's role and to urge continuity in dialogue channels that, though fragile, remain vital. For 2 decades, the United States and Qatar have navigated a partnership rooted in security, energy, and mediation. Qatar hosts America's largest military base in the Middle East, the Al Udeid Air Base, while simultaneously hosting Hamas leadership, a contradiction that places Doha uniquely at the center of conflict resolution efforts. Every handshake in these sequences is layered with meaning. To Washington, it is reassurance. To Doha, it is recognition of sovereignty and influence. To regional players, it is a reminder that Qatar is not merely an observer, but a participant shaping outcomes. From Doha, Rubio's flight carried him westward to London, where European partners awaited discussion. The transatlantic dimension of US diplomacy seeks to align allies not just on immediate crises, but on the enduring challenge of balancing Israel's security, Palestinian aspirations, and the fragile framework of international law. What begins as a brief encounter on an airport tarmac resonates across boardrooms, war rooms, and refugee camps. Every departure, every arrival is part of a broader choreography. Diplomacy as performance, but also as lifeline. For those caught in cycles of blockade, bombardment, and negotiation, these moments are not abstract. They carry the weight of survival, the possibility of reprieve, and the hope, however distant, of resolution. As Marco Rubio's plane lifts into the skies above Doha, the diplomacy it carries forward remains suspended, fragile, contested, but indispensable. In the weeks ahead, whether in London or beyond, the question will persist. Can dialogue prevail where force has failed?